watching, everyone. I'm Lester Holt. Please take care of yourself.
Coming up on Valley News Live at 6, we remember the life of a West Fargo police officer who suddenly died while on duty.
One person is dead after a police chase ends in a crash along Interstate 29.
And this was sentencing day for a man accused in killing someone with his vehicle a year ago. Valley News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 6.
Hutch warned us earlier today that there would be stormy conditions possibly popping up late this afternoon.
Storm chaser Eric Whitehill is already out and about, and there's been some video sent to us from a viewer of a tornado. Let's get the very latest from Hutch on what to expect where you are. Hutch?
Mike. Andrea, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Some of us enjoying quiet weather, not the case across the entire area, but much needed rain. It's coming with some unsettling weather. This all taking place just to the west of Stutsman County and Kidder County. Mike capturing this land spout. Just look at it picking up the dirt. Now, these typically are short-lived, and this one didn't last very long either, but a lot of very incredible photos of it while it took place. It was very close to the interstate, and these typically don't last long. They have weaker winds than some of their big brothers tornadoes from supercell type thunderstorms. These are not from supercell type thunderstorms, so they tend to cause a little bit less damage. But still, if one is in your area or a tornado warning is issued, you need to seek shelter, because here there's enough wind in excess of 70, 80 miles per hour or more to cause significant damage. So again, thanks to all our viewers for the video, the photos that you've uploaded. We'll keep that coming. Let's take a look at the very latest on the radar as we speak. Northwest Minnesota, we have an area of thunderstorm activity north of Grand Forks out towards Roseau, and a second cluster of thunderstorms in the Devil's Lake Basin just south of you on into the James River Valley. This area has been the most active. This is the cell that initiated the tornado. It's now moving to the west, kind of backwards, but we still have storms in southern Stutsman County just to the west of Jamestown moving north, and a lot of activity in northern Stutsman County. These are capable of some hail upwards of 1 inch in diameter from a couple of these cells. Will not be out of the question. And we have some rain that has been persistent in parts of Foster and Eddy County for the last 2.5 hours. Rainfall totals in some of those areas could be quite high. Most of these storms not producing significant hail, under penny-sized in most instances, and they're continuing to trek through the region. These areas will continue to see thunderstorms as we go through the evening hours, and then after sunset, the activity wanes in its intensity, but it doesn't die. I'll have details in your hour-by-hour forecast as we track these storms for tonight and beyond here in just a bit.
And if you need some extra time, just let us know.
Will do.
All right, thanks.
And always brought a smile to everyone's face when he was in the room. So just an outstanding guy, and definitely going to be a loss for the law enforcement community.
We now know the cause of a local police officer's sudden passing yesterday afternoon. Autopsy results on 40-year-old Lieutenant Adam Gustafson showed he suffered from severe heart disease, which caused a sudden and fatal heart attack while on duty.
Today, Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley spoke with officers in the metro on how the law enforcement community is honoring Gustafson and coming together during these tragic times.
It's a sad day for everybody.
A 10-year veteran of the West Fargo Police Department, several officers say they have nothing but respect and good things to say about their fellow brother in blue, Lieutenant Adam Gustafson.
There was a smile on his face. There was a positive attitude. You could tell he loved serving his community, the city of West Fargo, and he was truly fulfilling his calling as an officer.
Just an outstanding individual, police officer. Always willing to help. He always had the best interest of the citizens of West Fargo.
And in an effort to support and give grieving time to West Fargo officers, the Cass County Sheriff's Office, Fargo Police, and North Dakota Highway Patrol have stepped up to the plate, taking West Fargo's calls for service and patrolling the city until tomorrow morning.
You know, our brothers and sisters at the West Fargo Police Department are in extreme mourning right now, as we all are in the community, but we want to allow them that time to mourn. If we don't help them out at this time, who else will?
You know, we're a tight community here as a law enforcement community, and we work together each and every day through the good times and now through the bad as well. And you know, it's our privilege to be able to help out where we can.
Sheriff Jesse Johnner says his deputies will again offer their help when Lieutenant Gustafson is laid to rest, saying it's important Gustafson's co-workers and fellow officers are able to properly mourn and honor him. West Fargo officials adding Lieutenant Gustafson will be missed but never forgotten. Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Lieutenant Gustafson leaves behind 3 children. His funeral arrangements are still pending and will be released at a later time.
By the time we got up to it, we were about 2 cars and a semi behind the whole thing, and their car was shredded to pieces.
That's the account from an eyewitness of a deadly crash on I-29 today. Kelsey Nice says it was scary to see the car involved in a chase with deputies speed past her. Deputies say they were chasing a vehicle that was reported stolen out of Grand Forks. When the chase entered Trail County, deputies set up a spike strip. That didn't stop the driver. He drove through it, they say, entered a construction zone, crossed a center line, and collided with a semi. The driver died. A female passenger was taken to Sanford with unknown injuries. They were not wearing seatbelts. The semi-driver was also hurt. Traffic in that area is now open after being backed up for 3.5 hours.
A man has been sentenced to 6 years in prison for his role in a deadly car versus pedestrian crash in Fargo last year. David Torgerson pleaded guilty to manslaughter in the death of 39-year-old Peter McKenney. Police say Torgerson was driving in Fargo when he hit and killed McKenney, who's from Alexandria, Minnesota. Originally, police arrested a woman in connection with the death, but they later learned Torgerson was the true suspect. After serving 6 years behind bars, he will spend 2 years on probation.
A 6-year-old Minnesota girl who was shot in the head Monday night has died from her injuries. The shooting happened shortly after 11 p.m. north of Minneapolis. The child was riding in a car when she was shot and immediately taken to a hospital. She was the 3rd child in Minneapolis to be shot in the last 3 weeks. Today, members of the Fargo Human Relations Commission met to discuss a proposed hate crime ordinance within the city. If passed, anyone who violates the ordinance by committing simple assault, criminal mischief, or harassment could face up to a $1,500 fine and up to 30 days in jail. An organizer for the coalition says today's meeting was a rich conversation with incredible feedback from people in the community.
I think our community can do better, and I think that we need to raise the bar as far as what is appropriate behavior to all our residents. There should be nobody living in our community who lives under the veil of threat and fear that they are going to be targeted because of who they are.
The hate crime ordinance will be introduced to the City Commission on June 1st. The Fargo Human Relations Commission hopes to have that ordinance in place by July 7th.
Starting June 1st, face coverings will no longer be required on the University of North Dakota campus. However, they strongly encourage those who are not fully vaccinated to continue wearing them. You can view the full policy on our website. Go to valleynewslive.com.
Area students are invited to take part in an upcoming student vaccination clinic. West Fargo Public Schools and Essentia Health are planning to host a student vaccination clinic for anyone age 12 and older. The event is open to all area students. It will be Monday, May 24th from 3 to 8 p.m. at the Vaccination Center in the former Gordman's building. There will also be information about sports physicals, well child exams, and other immunizations that school-age kids may need.
Governor Tim Walz continues his push to get Minnesotans vaccinated. He's been encouraging families with kids who are at least 12 years old to get the vaccine. It comes as vaccination numbers are dropping week to week in the state. Despite the mask mandate and other restrictions being lifted, health officials say many people have not received the vaccine and the virus could still spread.
Bring your children in, bring a neighbor in, bring friends in. That we're at that phase right now where Minnesota's hospitalization rates are dropping, our infection rates are dropping, our vaccination rates are still climbing. The sooner those go up, the better we protect our neighbors, the better we protect against any potential surge coming back.
Since the vaccine push began late last year, Minnesota has administered nearly 5 million vaccine doses. As of Monday, nearly 54% of Minnesotans aged 16 and up are fully vaccinated against the virus. And if you're looking for places to get the vaccine, use our VNL Vaccine Tracker. It's on the homepage of our website, or, as we've reminded you, you can open your phone camera and point it to that QR code on your screen, then tap the link that pops up.
Tune in tonight to hear the incredible story of Garrett McFadgen. A couple of months ago, we did a story on the young man who was crushed by farming equipment. Now he's walking around after surgery in Fargo. Valley News Team's Aaron Walling went to Valley City to catch up with Garrett and the folks helping out at his farm. That's tonight on Valley News Live at 9 and 10.
Coming up later on Valley News Live at 6, a man rescued after being trapped underwater for 20 minutes.
Some of us getting some much needed rain, and some land spout photographs continue to pour in. Thanks for uploading your photos. You can do the same at valleynewslive.com. We're going to track these storms for you, tell you where they're going tonight, but we'll also talk about some much needed rain for many of our areas over the next 7 days. That's all right after this.
This is Valley News Live.
It's